On certain days, the universe feels heavier, charged, as though something hidden is preparing to surface. August 18th carries such a weight, not by chance, but by rhythm, the rhythm of cycles, of energy, of seasons that the ancients understood far better than we do today. In the Shaolin way, these shifts are not random, they are invitations, a call to pause, to turn the gaze inward, and to ask, where is your attention truly resting? Because here's the truth. Mastery begins not with strength, not with endurance, but with attention. Where the mind goes, life follows. A single day can redirect a path entirely, not through external events alone, but by the way you choose to meet them. August 18th is such a turning point, and if you meet it with awareness, it will not simply pass, it will transform you. In this teaching, I will share why this date holds significance, how Shaolin practice interprets shifts in time, and the subtle lessons often overlooked in the rush of daily life. You will learn why stillness reveals the truth behind chaos, how discipline can cut through confusion, and why clarity arrives only when we stop reacting and begin choosing. These are not abstract ideas. They are living tools, tested by centuries of practice, and now offered to you. Stay with me until the end, because each step will build on the last, leading you to a deeper understanding of how to master not just a single day, but the flow of your entire life. I welcome you to Shaolin Soulfire. If you seek strength of spirit, calm of mind, and the art of inner mastery, this is your path. Subscribe and walk it with us. There are mornings when the body is heavy, when the mind resists, and the spirit whispers excuses. This is the moment most people surrender, but in Shaolin discipline, this is the exact threshold where growth begins. Discipline is not about crushing your feelings or pretending they do not exist. It is about recognizing them clearly and still choosing the path you know aligns with your purpose. When I was a young disciple, my master would ask me to rise before the sun, even in the biting cold. I often felt no desire to move, yet he reminded me gently, the feeling is not the obstacle, it is the training. Each time I stood, bowed and began, I was not conquering the world, only myself. That is the quiet power of discipline. On August 18th, a wave of change may stir emotions within you. Some may feel inspired, others restless or uncertain. But here is the test. Do you move only when carried by inspiration? Or do you also move when your heart is heavy, when motivation is absent? Real transformation does not wait for perfect moods. It grows in the soil of consistency. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the blade is sharpened not in one strike, but through countless steady passes across the stone. Likewise, your spirit is shaped in small, repeated acts of commitment. Each step you take, whether joyous or reluctant, adds strength to your foundation. So, when this turning point arrives, do not ask whether you feel ready. Ask instead, what is my commitment? Then honor it, step by step. That is how discipline reveals its quiet force, not as toughness, but as clarity, patience, and the refusal to deceive yourself. When life shifts suddenly, it often feels like the ground itself tilts beneath your feet. The mind races, the heart pulls in one direction, the body resists in another. This is the nature of change. It unsettles, it disrupts. Yet Shaolin wisdom reminds us, balance is not the absence of disturbance, it is the art of finding center again and again. The first step is always observation. Before any correction, there must be clarity. A monk once said, "You cannot straighten a picture frame in the dark." In the same way, if you rush to fix what feels wrong without seeing it clearly, you only create more confusion. So you pause, you breathe, you notice, where is the imbalance? Is it in your thoughts, tangled in fear? Is it in your body, tense and restless? Or is it in your emotions, storming without direction? Once the imbalance is seen, the realignment begins. This is not force. Force tightens the knot further. Realignment is gentle, patient, deliberate, like a tree swaying in the wind. It bends without breaking. Through breath, through stillness, through small acts of discipline, you bring yourself back to center. Ancient practice teaches that balance is never permanent. It is a living dance, Every inhale and exhale is balance found, lost, and found again. Every step forward carries the possibility of leaning too far, then returning. The mistake many make is believing they must hold balance forever. In truth, mastery lies in noticing when you drift and calmly bringing yourself home. So when change unsettles you, do not resist it. Observe it. See where it has knocked you off rhythm. Then with patience, guide yourself back, not with force, but with quiet realignment. This is how balance becomes not a fragile state, but a resilient way of being. In the Shaolin tradition, every movement of the body is more than muscle and bone. It is language. A punch is not only strength. A stance is not only posture. Each gesture is a reflection of what lives within the mind. If the thoughts are scattered, the body stumbles. If the heart is restless, the breath falters. This is why practice is never just exercise. It is a mirror held up for the soul to see itself. When a student first trains in Kung Fu or Qigong, they often focus only on form, where to place the hand, how to shift the weight, when to inhale and exhale. But with time, something deeper becomes visible. They begin to notice that tension in the shoulder is linked to worry in the mind, that a shaky stance often echoes doubt hidden in the heart. The body reveals what the spirit tries to conceal. August 18th carries with it a surge of energy, a turning point that can make this mirror clearer than usual. On that day, pay attention to how your body feels as you move, as you breathe, as you walk through even the simplest tasks. The stiffness, the flow, the resistance, all of it is a message. The body is speaking in the language of sensation, telling you where the mind has wandered. Shaolin practice teaches that to master yourself, you must listen to this dialogue. Through breathwork, through mindful movement, you realign body and mind until they are no longer separate, but partners in the same rhythm. And when that harmony is touched, even briefly, you realize the way you move in the world is the way you live within yourself. On August 18th, let the body be your mirror, and the mirror your guide. There is a quiet power in stepping back from your own story. Most people are swept into the drama of their thoughts and emotions, as if every rise and fall were absolute truth. But mindfulness offers a different way to watch your life, as though it were playing on a screen. You are not trapped inside the character, you are the one who sees, who observes, who witnesses. This shift may seem small, yet it changes everything. When anger arises, instead of saying, "I am angry," you notice, anger is here. When fear appears, it is not, "I am afraid," but fear has entered. Suddenly, the emotion no longer defines you. It simply passes across the screen. You still feel it, but you are not consumed by it. In ancient practice, monks would sit for hours, not to erase their thoughts, but to watch them with patience. A memory, a craving, a regret, all would appear and fade. Over time, they discovered the truth. Nothing stays. To see this directly is to loosen the grip of attachment. The story unfolds, but you are not lost in it. Discipline is needed here because the pull of identification is strong. The mind insists, "This is me." But with steady practice, you learn to rest as the audience, watching with curiosity instead of judgment. The character may stumble, rejoice, or despair, but the witness remains steady, untouched. This perspective is not escape, it is freedom. It allows you to move through life with clarity, to act with intention rather than reaction. You see the story for what it is, passing scenes in a greater play, and in that realization, balance returns, calm grows, and mastery deepens. Mindfulness becomes not an event, but a way of seeing. Many believe they must choose between stillness and movement, between meditation and action. Yet Shaolin wisdom teaches that these are not opposites. They are partners. Inner calm is not meant to keep you sitting forever. It is meant to steady your steps when you rise. Purposeful action is not meant to scatter your energy. It is meant to give form to the peace you carry within. Think of a river. At its depth, the water is quiet, unshaken. Yet on the surface, it flows with strength, carving valleys, nourishing life, moving endlessly forward. This is the balance of being and doing. When you rest in your inner depth, Your actions become like the river's current, fluid, powerful, yet never disconnected from stillness. On August 18th, the energy that surrounds you may feel intense, like a surge waiting for direction. If you meet it only with rest, it may stagnate. If you meet it only with action, it may scatter. But if you blend the two, calm within, deliberate movement without, it becomes transformation. In ancient practice, monks trained to sit in silence, breathing until the heart is steady. Then, without breaking that stillness, they rise into forms of Kung Fu or Qigong. The strikes, the stances, the flow of energy, all emerge from the same calm that was cultivated in stillness. This is the union of being and doing. To live this way is to walk through the world with quiet strength. You act not out of haste, not out of agitation, but out of grounded clarity. Each choice is a reflection of the peace you protect inside. Let August 18th remind you, true mastery is not choosing between calm and action. It is learning to carry calm into every action. There are memories that linger, like shadows that stretch long into the present. Old wounds, forgotten arguments, regrets we think we have buried, they have a way of rising quietly, demanding attention. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the first step toward mastery is acknowledgement. To ignore these echoes is to carry weight unnecessarily. To face them is the beginning of freedom. On August 18th, these shadows may appear more clearly, stirred by the shifting energy of the day. Do not fear their presence. They are not enemies to fight, but threads to untangle. Sit with them, observe the pain, the anger, the sorrow, as if holding a delicate leaf in your hand. Feel its texture, note its edges, but do not allow it to pierce you. Discipline here is subtle. It is not forcing the mind to forget, nor attempting to control what arises. It is choosing a different relationship with memory, acknowledgement without attachment, recognition without surrender. In this space, healing begins. You see that emotions, no matter how heavy, are temporary. They move through you like wind through the branches of a tree. Ancient practice reminds us that release is an act of courage. To let go is not weakness, it is mastery. When the heart unclenches, clarity returns. When resentment softens, the mind clears. And the energy of the present, like that of August 18th, can be embraced without the pull of the past. So when old wounds surface, meet them fully, but do not linger where they bind you. Untangle each thread with patience. Move through the discomfort with calm awareness. In doing so, you transform what once held you captive into a teacher, and you step forward lighter, stronger, and more aligned with the path you are meant to walk. There's a clarity that comes when the mind is empty of assumptions. Zen calls this beginner's mind, a way of meeting each moment as if seeing it for the first time, free from the weight of past experiences or future fears. Most of life is colored by what we think we already know. The lesson of beginner's mind is simple yet profound. Let go of certainty and open yourself to what is actually here. On August 18th, this approach becomes especially powerful. The day carries currents of change that may tempt you to fit them into old patterns, familiar stories, or past disappointments. But the wisdom of centuries whispers the moment is not a reflection of yesterday, nor a rehearsal for tomorrow. It is entirely new, and it asks only that you be present. Curiosity becomes your guide. Notice the subtle shifts in energy, the way thoughts rise and pass, the way the body responds. Observe without judgment. Each sensation, each encounter is a teacher if you allow it to be. When you approach life with fresh eyes, even ordinary moments hold revelations. Discipline supports this practice. It is easy to fall back into habit, to let expectations dictate your actions. The effort lies in maintaining openness, in returning again and again to the present as if it were unfamiliar territory. This is not naivety. It is mastery. It is the courage to see things without filters, to respond rather than react. Embracing beginner's mind allows the day itself to unfold naturally. Surprises no longer unsettle, challenges no longer frighten. Each moment is an invitation to engage fully, to learn without preconception, and to experience life as it truly is, fresh, immediate, and alive. On this day, approach it as if it were the first you have ever known, and in doing so, discover freedom. Nothing exists in isolation. A single stone dropped into a pond creates ripples that reach far beyond its point of impact. In the same way, every change within you, every thought, every choice, every moment of growth spreads outward, touching the world in ways often unseen. This is the teaching of interbeing, that life is a network of connection where nothing stands alone. August 18th carries the energy of transformation, but it is not a private force. The shifts you experience will inevitably affect those around you, those you have yet to meet, and even the unseen currents of circumstance. The moment you take responsibility for your inner evolution, you engage not just with yourself, but with the whole web of life. Ancient Buddhist practice emphasizes awareness of this interconnection. Monks observe not only their own breath, but the breaths of others, the rhythm of the forest, the flow of water. Each action is measured, conscious, knowing that harmony arises when the self is aligned with the whole. Likewise, your growth gains strength when you honor its context. Discipline here is subtle. It is the patience to notice how one thought affects another, how one decision influences many. It is the humility to recognize that no achievement exists in a vacuum. Even the quietest practice, breathing, meditation, mindful movement, participates in a larger symphony of life. So when August 18th brings opportunity, uncertainty, or clarity, remember your evolution is part of a greater pattern. You do not change alone. Each step toward mastery resonates outward, shaping the world as the world shapes you. In this understanding lies a deeper kind of freedom, the freedom to act with awareness, to grow with intention, and to honor the invisible threads that connect all things. Nothing in life remains still. Every thought rises and fades, every feeling comes and goes. Every circumstance shifts with time. Buddhism calls this impermanence, not as a warning, but as an invitation. To see the flow of reality clearly is to taste freedom, to realize that clinging to what is fleeting only brings suffering, while understanding its nature allows the mind to rest. On August 18th, this truth becomes particularly vivid. The day may bring sudden turns, unexpected opportunities, or subtle disruptions. It can feel unsettling, as if the ground beneath is shifting. But impermanence is not chaos. It is a mirror showing what is essential, what endures, and what is ready to be released. The practice is simple, though not easy. Pause. Observe the changes without labeling them good or bad. Notice your reactions as they arise. The mind may resist, seeking stability in the temporary, but the discipline lies in returning again and again to the center. With each breath, each quiet moment, you anchor yourself not in what passes, but in what remains, the awareness itself, the stillness beneath the storm. Ancient masters taught that awakening does not arrive in grand revelations, but in these repeated moments of presence. By facing the impermanence of life directly, we discover resilience. By holding calm amid instability, we cultivate inner strength that no external event can take. August 18th can serve as such a turning point. Let the instability of the day remind you of what lasts: your awareness, your clarity, your capacity to choose. In this understanding, transformation becomes possible, not through resisting change, but through aligning with the flow of life, standing steady within it, and discovering that the only true permanence is the stillness you carry within yourself. August the 18th of May arrive like a sudden ripple, stirring your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. Yet the true measure of this day is not in the events themselves, but in how you meet them. Shaolin teaches that mastery is cultivated quietly, inwardly, with patience and balance. Mindfulness offers the lens through which you can observe without judgment, act with clarity, and respond with intention rather than impulse. Notice where your attention settles. Let each choice be guided by discipline, not fleeting emotion. Embrace new patterns without forcing them, and recognize that your personal growth is part of a larger web of life. In this way, even a single day can become a turning point, a quiet revolution that begins within. Carry this awareness into every moment. Let the lessons of August 18th shape not only how you move through the day, but how you navigate all of life with presence, with calm, and with the courage to act in alignment with your deepest values. Thank you for walking this path with us. If you feel the power of these teachings and wish to continue exploring the art of inner mastery, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire and join our community. May each day bring clarity, strength, and peace.